I've been a game developer for about 14 years almost at this point, and it's been a very up and down ride in that time. Now, I don't think a lot of people have been in this industry as long as I have and have not had any form of, so to say, formal education in it or have had a formal job in it. I've always worked for myself, per se, and I've made it work. It hasn't always been easy. It's like I said, it's been up and down. It's been a tough job at times, but it's been one that I've thoroughly enjoyed and have loved doing, and one that I can probably see myself doing for the rest of my life to some extent. Now, that will change over time in how the job is done. The role of the video game developer changes and becomes more complex or more involved or less involved based on the technology of the day, such as AI and stuff like that. So it's an evolving role, but I think that's true of any industry. I think the person doing the job always has to have the ability to adapt and to become something that he or she wasn't when they started with the job. But it's been something that I've put a lot of thought into lately, into how to survive the coming months, the coming years as an indie developer, because times have changed a lot and making indie games is easier than it's ever been, but selling indie games, to my experience, is very difficult right now, maybe harder than it's ever been. We might have another indie apocalypse situation where it doesn't seem that way from the outside, because you have tales of success, big indie games that make it big, that make millions of dollars, and it's inspiring, and they tell these great stories, and some of them got lucky, some of them were prepared, whatever. It's it's situational. But for most of us, the reality is that we will never be that. And if you aren't one of the standout successes, you need to find a different way to survive, and that can be difficult to do. But if it's your livelihood, if it's your job, that's just something that you have to do. So for me, that is becoming video game assets. It is something that I'm getting more and more involved in and selling more of, because the assets provide a bit of a more stable income source. Now, I'll probably do a video on assets in a couple days or in a couple weeks, whatever. My schedule is, it is whatever. I make videos when I feel like it. But the point is, you have to find a way to survive, and it can be difficult because indie game sales have gone down a lot in my experience. If I look at my own studio, Align Games, my sales have gone down every year since I started. I think my first game came out in 2019, and until now that has been my best selling game. Now, that might be because of the type of game it was, but it's when that game sold, I thought it was a failure, but looking back, it's been my most successful game. I think it made something like $10,000. And when you have financial failures, a couple in a row, it can be very difficult to survive. And I know that financial failure is different for everyone, and I'm in a low cost country, so for me, I don't need that much money. About $2,000 a month is enough for me. But getting $2,000 a month with indie games is a difficult task, and we are the sort of people that have to sit and work for incredible amounts of time, and that is just the reality of the life that we have chosen. I watched a video recently with the guy that made Choo Choo Charles, and he basically said, if you are getting into game design, don't bother. And I think I agree with him to some extent, because it is just so difficult right now. And I know this seems like I'm just complaining, like I'm just saying, it's so hard, boo-hoo, woe is me, all of that kind of stuff. But, I'm not going anywhere. The point is that I'm going to keep trying to make it work, because at the end of the day, ultimately, I believe that this is my fate. This is my chosen course in life, and this is what I want to do with my life. And just because I've done a lot of it doesn't mean that I'm done. I might be done at some point in the future, but I'm not done yet. I'm not ready to quit. And luckily I'm not very motivated by money. It would be nice to have more money, but it's not a driving factor for me. So if you are someone that does exclusively want money, then either you're going to have to set up your games in a very specific way for them to maximize, potential earning, or you need to find another job, because game design is all about passion. It's all about putting in the hours and putting in the work and probably not seeing the results that you probably deserve. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but if it is what you love and if it is what you truly want to do, then I wouldn't tell you not to do it, because it is fulfilling. Now that fulfillment can become lesser and lesser the more you fail. It can be very difficult, but as they say, fail upwards and fail quickly. So learn the lesson, fail and fail again and fail again and fail again, and it's going to be tough. You're going to have to handle a lot of negative feedback. You're going to have to hear things that you don't necessarily want to hear. You're going to have to make games you don't necessarily want to make because you have to survive. But at the end of the day, if it's what you love and if it's what you want to do, then that it is what you should do. So the point is that you just need to find ways to make it happen. Now for me, that is doing freelance work, and at this point it is doing assets, selling assets, because it's just a more stable source of income. So if you have to support yourself with a part-time job in another industry and then you make games at night, or if you have to find a game dev job, maybe if you can find that would be good. If you can find a way to make it happen, like writing books or writing assets, or making assets or making audio, whatever you have to do, doing freelance work, whatever you have to do, you just have to make it happen. If this is what you want to do, if this is what you think you were meant to do, if this is what you have chosen for yourself, like I have. But if you want to make money, I would probably say there's easier ways to do that. For me, this is the only job I've ever had. This is the only job I'm probably ever going to have, to some extent. I would like to probably start more businesses in the future, but I'm just not ready to give up on this. And each year I feel like I'm learning more. More opportunities present themselves, and if you are prepared for an opportunity, when it gets to you, you are in a good position, and you are probably going to be able to seize that opportunity and make something of it. So I wouldn't tell you to quit. I would just tell you to think about the approach that you're going to take carefully. Think about what it is that you want out of game design, why you're doing it, and if it is sustainability that you seek, you should either get a job and do this as a hobby, or you should do this in a way that is sustainable. But if you have a certain amount of money that you have to make each month, it's not going to be easy to do it with this. Steam sales have been going down each year for me, and with that, you just have to find other ways to survive. Put your games on consoles, put them on mobile. These things maybe you don't want to do, but you're going to have to do if you want to survive as an indie game developer. In my time in game dev, the 13 or 14 years that I've been doing it, this is the hardest time that there has been, and I think there's a myriad of factors and reasons for that, but I don't think it's over, and I don't think it's impossible. You just have to be smart about it. So that's basically what it comes down to. Don't be demotivated. Just do your best, and if you can find a way to make it work, do that. Make it work. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have enjoyed it, if you'd like to see more stuff like this. I'm just rambling, really, just talking about what I want to talk about. This YouTube channel has taken so many twists and turns that I'm at a point where I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what you do. I don't think this is ever going to be one of my monetization methods, so I'm just going to use it as an outlet for now. And if you want to listen to that, be my guest. If not, see you later. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.